Well, hello, hello. Hey, Mary. Hi, Robin. Turn my volume off here. All right. How is everybody on this? Well, I'm not going to say it's a fine Tuesday, but it is Tuesday. It has been a rough day today. And, oh, it's almost over. I found a deer. All right. Hey, Laura. Barb, hello. Ay, ay, ay. I'm crooked. I don't like it. You know that. Hey, Tammy. Marilyn. Trying to straighten out my business here. I'll get dizzy as I'm moving the camera around. Whoa, that was worse. Hey, Gabrielle. How are you? Barbara, hello. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. I don't want to make anybody else dizzy. All right. So, today we are going to talk about Distress ink. And, you know, I bought this stencil when it first came out. It is the Tim Holtz moon stencil where it's got like the circle mask and then the moon mask. And I was really intimidated by it. There's 3 different sizes. I keep it I keep it close pinned together, and that is how it's been since I bought it. Close pinned together like this. Well, the other day I decided to take it for a spin. Hey, Marianne. So this is what I did on this tag right here, and I absolutely love it. So I thought I would share what I did. So it's a little bit of ink blending, and some masking with the stencil. So I am going to move this over. I always like to use the Wendy Vecchi station just because it's magnetic. So I put a little bit of repositionable tape underneath my tag to hold it in place. And I am going to do the same thing with this circle mask right here. I just roll a little piece. I'm also going to use, I'm going to put it in a different spot this time, kind of in the middle. I'm also going to put a magnet just to make sure, just to make sure that it doesn't move. All right. So what the mask, this round mask, will just keep a white circle here. So I used 6 different ink colors, and you know, that's a few, but I really like the way that it turned out. So I am going to, oh man, so crooked again. Sorry. Oh well. I am going to redo the same thing. So what I started with was pumice stone, which is a really light gray, just to kind of get the glow. And you could use a yellow color. I wanted to do scattered straw because it's really light yellow, but for whatever reason, I don't have that ink. So I put that on my wish list. So I am going to use pumice stone. You could use antique linen too, would be good. But what I did was I just started with a really light go around the circle here with the pumice stone. You might not even be able to see. It's very light. Just to make it look a little bit different than the white that is going to be on the tag when we lift that up. So really, just really light around there. And then I went, this is Hickory Smoke, also a gray. And I just kind of did a little bit of that around, going a little bit further out. And that is just to get the glow around the circle. Just really light-handed. This is probably these are the only two colors that I did this light, just because I wanted to get this glow around the moon. So then I went to some Broken China. And I started a little bit further out, so leaving some of that gray so that you would still see that gray, and just putting a little bit of the Broken China around, always going around in a circle. How I did it. You don't have to do that. Just putting some of this color down that you'll just really see, because I'm going to keep going back and forth with the Broken China and the Uncharted Mariner, which will be the color that I use next. Those are the ones that I used the most and the most heavy-handed. Anybody have any questions? I'm trying to watch the chat and ink at the same time. So this Uncharted Mariner, I like it's one of my favorite colors. I went in a little bit heavier handed with this one. And kind of a halo, that's the shape that I'm going around my moon. And I really want to get this color on the tag. The circle, Laura's asking what the circle is that I use. These are the moon masks and stencils from Tim Holtz that came out a while ago. I'm using the smaller, so there's the moon stencil and then there's the circle mask, so that you can keep your moon shape white. So that's what that is. It comes with the stencil. You get both pieces. All right, so like I said, this is where I'm really going to go back and forth. I'm going to bring some more of the Broken China in and kind of soften up that. And I just go over it too. It just gives another nice layer of ink. Gives your Uncharted Mariner a different tone. I'm going to press really hard to get some color down here. That's the one thing that I struggle with the brushes. It just takes a little bit more. It's worth it, but it takes a little bit more time to get some color down. All right, then what I did was, this is the Villainous Potion. You could use any purple, Wilted Violet, what is it? Seedless Preserve, maybe, was one of the other purples. And I just did a little bit of purple. And you don't have to press hard with this one because it's a pretty dark color. Just around the outer, give yourself an outer circle here. And I'm not going to use too much purple. All right, but I am going to go back in and blend out that transition between the purple and the Uncharted Mariner so that there is not a harsh line. Mary's asking, am I using Distress ink or oxide? This is Distress ink. Just the ink. You could absolutely do this with oxides too. You'll get a more opaque coverage. All right. And then what I did, and I have to get the black brush to go with my set. I don't have that one for some reason. I realized a few things that I don't have here. I just took some black soot and kind of went on the very edge. I'm gonna twirl this around here. This one might have, this sponge might have had paint on it, so it's kind of crunchy. Would have been for black paint instead of for black ink. Even though I don't have a lot of color over here, I'm going to just do a little bit. The black always kind of makes the colors pop. And then Mary's asking also, can you use both together? Sure, you can. It'll just change your look a little bit, but you can certainly use Distress ink and Distress oxides together. Just keep in mind, one is more opaque. Distress ink is a little bit more translucent. Distress oxide is opaque, and the color kind of will go on top of the other. It'll still blend. You'll still be able to get a blended line, but it kind of sits on top of the ink. So the colors will probably stand out a bit more. All right, so that's the basis there. I always like to go back. I'm going to go back to a little hickory smoke here because, you know, I just can't leave it alone. Put a little bit more in just to blend that up. All right, now you can see here that I did some water splatters. I did that after I did the whole thing, and I really liked the way that it turned out because it kind of blended on the moon edge a little bit. So I'm going to do that again, but now would be, if you didn't want to blend any water splatters on your moon, now would be a good time because you've got that mask on there. So we are going to peel this off. Ta-da! So see how you've got a pretty white circle because that masked off that space. And then we are going to put, let's do it this way, our moon. And I'm actually going to I'm going to fold up this piece of tape and put it right here. It just helps to keep it in place a little bit better. I tend to get a little rough, so things move around. There. So put that right in the same spot. And I'm pushing down the tape so it's flat. Put it in the same spot where you had your circle. I'm also going to put, oops, my station is well loved. So sometimes my magnets stick. Okay, so now what I did was I used the hickory smoke in the moon with a really light hand. And that's hard for me. So I'm going to do my best to have a really light hand. And just blend in. And it doesn't matter if you go over on this because you've already put some gray there. So you're fine with that. And with the mini station, what's nice about it is you can twirl it around. You can move your magnets if they get in your way. Move it to where you've already stenciled. Move it back. Make sure you get in all these little tiny holes. On this smaller version, the little tiny, well, the holes are tiny, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, let's see if I did a light hand or if I went too heavy. Well, really not too heavy, but heavier than I meant to. Now the magic. When we peel that up, ta-da! All right, then what? Okay, let me look at the comments here. Mary's saying, let's say you used a too heavy of a hand and you want a little bit too dark. Can you go over it with a lighter color? No, not with the distress inks, just the regular distress inks. That'll just make it darker. You could potentially do that with the oxides because they're more opaque, and you could put a lighter color on top of the dark color. You could try it for sure. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. And then these I'll just wipe off with water because it's distress ink, so that I don't have ink when I use it, you know, mix the colors when I use it the next time. Now, what I did on this one is I didn't put any more ink on my brush, but just so that I didn't and you could absolutely love it this way, and I do like it, the stark white against all of the other brighter colors. I just kind of took my brush that already has ink on it, and I didn't really go in the center, but I went around the edge just to kind of take away a little bit of the stark whiteness. That makes sense? All righty. So that right there, that's the ink blending. And then which I absolutely love, and this is a great background for home decor projects too, with the larger stencil. I mean, you've got 3 sizes in the package, and I said to myself, I wonder if other people bought this stencil set too and were as intimidated as I was to try it. I'm gonna try it next with some paste. Some of the snowfall paste in here would be really cool. So you might see some other techniques coming up in the near future with that. But then what I did was I took my spray bottle just to make it look like stars and such. My distress sprayer, which is my favorite water water spray bottle. Sorry, I'm struggling today. It's been a long day. And with this one, I don't know if you know, if you take this sprayer and you give a firm squeeze, I don't want to do it because I'm going to get water all over everything I've got on my desk, you get a mist. Okay, so if you go psh, with a tight squeeze on the trigger, you get a light mist. If you stay close, your mist is going to be concentrated on what you do, but if you go higher up, your mist will spread out. But if you do little tiny pulls, like like those sound effects, to your sprayer, you get drops, okay? And that's what I like about it. This sprayer is really easy to do that with, and that is how you get really nice splatters like this. So let's see what happens. All right, let me see if I can find my heat tool. I don't want, and the other thing is you could blot this off with a paper towel, but it will pull all the color off. If you let it dry or dry it with a heat tool, it's going to leave some of that color behind and give you the darker rings. So it really does look like a watermark. So I am just going to hit it with the heat tool here. Yeah, it does look like it's glowing, doesn't it? I absolutely love this color combination, and this stencil just makes it so easy to get a white glowy moon. All right, that's not dry all the way, but you get the idea. So you can see I had a little piece of tape there, and voila. The other thing you could do is do some white splatters with some opaque ink, water it down, white watercolor, gold metallic would be really pretty, and that would give you some nice sparkle and shine. All right. Does anybody have any questions about this technique? Any question about the colors that I used for the blending? This Uncharted Mariner to me is just like the most amazing night sky when you blend it with black. It is just stunning. So, any questions? I'll give it a minute because I know the delay is a little bit long tonight. All right, I don't see any questions. So I am going to remind you of a couple of things that we've got going on, and then I'm going to say adios. Saturday at 9:30 we have Scrappy Chat. Join us. We'll be showing you new product, and some new Michigan inspiration. I actually have a couple of projects to show you for that. And we'll be talking about all of our events that we've got coming up. Don't forget, we've got our birthday bash happening January 21st. I think there's only 4 or 5 seats left for that event. It is going to be super fun. We'll have cake and punch and snacks, prizes, of course, and just a lot of birthday fun. We're going to be using the Spellbinders product to make 8 cards. Of course, you will have enough product to do lots more after that. And then, of course, you've been seeing some things about Gnome of the Month. If anybody has any questions about Gnome of the Month, just feel free to send us a message and we'll take care of that. Okie dokie. So I hope everybody has a fabulous Tuesday. I haven't been outside really today, so looks like it was only in the high 30s. Everybody keeping warm. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we will be coming at you again Saturday, again at 9:30 for our Scrappy Chat right here on this YouTube channel. All right, everybody. Thanks so much and have a good night.